gonna be honest, this video is kind of pissing me off because I was gonna make this video and I saw Nim, even though Nim's wasn't a top budget, he did a top 10 decks of the format, and then I was just about to make the video today and I got on YouTube just like an hour ago because I was gonna make it tonight before I went to bed and it's nighttime now, and then what do I see? Mega Capital G does the top 10 budget decks. I was like, oh, okay, and then I'm like, okay, maybe his deck list doesn't list the decks that I did, and then, oh, it listed some of the decks I posted, not all of them, but he had a few in there. And it's not saying he copied me or anything, because he definitely didn't. He made that video, he had no idea I was going to make it. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I didn't want to completely copy him, but I already had an idea for this video, so along with the decks that I'm going to list, I definitely advise to go check out Mega Capital G's video of his top 10 budget decks, because these are top 5 for me, and they're probably a little bit cheaper than the ones he listed, but still, go check out his video because it's still a great video and he lists good decks and he talks about it probably more in depth than I would have. So, I'll put a link to his video down below, and I'm sorry Mega Capital G if I think I copied you, because I really didn't try to. I'm just doing a follow-up of a video I made in like March, which I'll actually link down below, the top 5 budget decks I did for that format, to show and proof that I did make a video like this before and was planning on redoing it when the format changed. But anyways, let's get on with it. Now, this is in no particular order, but first deck we're going to do, and this one's already, shouldn't even be known because I'm still going to list it repetitively because I think it is a great deck to spam and destroy people and is a great rogue deck. But with that being said, boom! Chaos Sworn. Now, for the few who probably don't know, because a lot do, it is my favorite deck because I like the idea of spamming JD. Do you see anybody play it? No. Most of all because when I see people even play this deck anymore, it's like as soon as Dragon Rulers got taken away, they thought Eclipse Wyvern, you can't use it in the deck. Well, I'm not saying mine is meta, because obviously if it's not like I know something that somebody else doesn't know, otherwise this would be topping like crazy. But it is a great deck for budget because it's way more consistent than Lightsworn, and all it is you're just abusing JD, which Lightsworns try to do, but you can't do to the same degree. So you play Eclipse Wyvern, and then you play some Chaos monsters. I usually play some Gores and stuff like that, so you can protect yourself, Chaos Sorcerer, Dark Flare Dragon, all that. And you use the Chaos abilities and BLS, Chaos abilities to get rid of the Eclipse Wyvern that you already milled off, and you get JD quickly, just like you would with the Dragon Ruler variant that was actually really powerful back before Dragon Rulers got banned. The last few Dragon Rulers, because all you need is 4 Dragon Rulers, and you're good to go, and this deck's super powerful. But that's gone. Anywho, then I throw in 3 Monster Reincarnations to pitch cards like Plague Spreaders, so then I can Chaos Sorcerer, get JD to my hand, JD, Plague Spread, Special Summon, then go into Belze, and then I can do JD's effect. Belze can't be destroyed, and then you have 2 $3,000 beaters. It's a fun deck, it's a great deck, and people always get pissed when I play it because they're like, oh, it's so spammy, it's so sacky, which it is. Is it the top meta deck? No. But it is definitely super cheap, and it is super fun, and I enjoy playing it. So, there we go. Chaos Sworn. If you ever want to see a video on that, I have a bunch. Just search something like that on my YouTube channel, and you'll see something similar. Alright, now this deck I made, and I tried it out just purely because I saw in this new format that Thunder King is back to 2. So I was like, okay, let's play this. Let's see what's up. That is Thunder Family, or Mahunders, or Hunders, or whatever you want to call it. I like having Thunder King. But having it at 2 now, it's a great card because on that, if you get a first turn Thunder King, it's actually like stoppable. Like, I have played against modern decks that are very searchable, and it stops them in their tracks because they can't search out cards. And I love that about Thunder King. It pisses off people, and then they're afraid to special summon something because you're like, huh? I will do it. Am I gonna do it? And then you're like, all right, yeah, I'm using Thunder King's effect. So, while it's definitely not a groundbreaking card, the fact that you can, I use that, forget what Hunter's is it Pahunder? I don't know. That you can take out from the graveyard, you banish it, and you can bring it back to your hand, so you can definitely abuse Thunder King. And you can also research Seahorse to abuse the searchability in the deck and to keep getting monsters into your hand and thinning out your deck. So you don't really even need a card like Pot of Desires, which makes it more especially budget because you don't need that draw power. And I know there's some people that don't like Pot of Desires, but I'm just saying if you were a person that wanted that draw power, you don't necessarily need it because you can thin out this deck very easily with Thunder Seahorse and Recycling Batteries. And even though, once again, it's not a super meta deck by any means, it is definitely budget, and you can Xyz spam out the wazoo, and you can make it a little chaosable. And it's a nice little ranky chaos spam deck, so, I mean not chaos, Xyz spammy deck, which I know isn't great, but like I said, we're talking about super budget, like this is $75 and under here. But hey, along with that, we're going to do another XC spammy deck, and that's going to be Machina gadgets. Now, Robbie Cole's probably, I'm surprised he's not, on the bandwagon right now of talking about Machina gadgets, because the new gadgets, I believe with the new gadgets and the gadgets that exist, you can splash in Machina really well, and it actually makes a really overall powerful deck right now. Once again, top meta, no, but we're in the $75 budget range. If you're in a budget, you don't get to be in the top 10 meta. That's just how it goes in the Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm sorry, but if you want to take something that's fun and isn't completely terrible, this is definitely a deck to go for. I like the spamminess of gold and silver gadget that you can also special summon Machina for, I forget whatever his name is, sorry, but the one that's, that searches out all the other Machina cards, even though you don't get his effect if he's special summoned, but still, I like that it doesn't have to be a silver and gold gadget. You don't have to use another gadget card to use its special effect ability for special summoning. So you don't have to use Tin Goldfish or any of that shit anymore. And the gadgets search out each other and thins out your deck, and that's the thing you want. You want consistency in your deck, and gadgets always have very good consistency to a degree. So, it's definitely a very viable deck for something budget for number 3. Now 4, I am only picking this, and I don't think anybody would probably pick this, but I'm purely picking this because I hate back row. And I've probably put this in all my other deck videos, but I'm always going to put this because I hate back row, is Harpies. I like Harpies because I was even testing out a build with playing, the Harpies Hunting Ground, and then also playing Twin Twister in it, purely because I hate back row that much. And it was actually, I'm not saying once again it's meta, remember, this is $75 and under. You can't be that meta for this price. But, with that being said, I was playing against some people that were really getting pissed that I just kept destroying the back row. It's like every minute, back row destroyed, back row destroyed. And with Solemn Strike, I will admit, it's not as great now because you have to get your summon off to destroy a card, but sometimes people forget about it. If they're bad or good players, it's something else to be debatable, but sometimes they forget that, like, oh shit, he summoned a monster and he had Harpies Hunting Ground. Boom. But I'm also playing Twin Twister, so, like, it works out. And once again, Harpies is a deck that easily searches out cards, and that's pretty much the theme here. If we're playing budget decks, we want decks that can really thin out their decks and search ability to make them viable. So that's why I'm picking Harpies, because it destroys back row. Back row is protecting people lately, and that's the thing that I find the most problematic about this game is it's not even that the decks are that powerful half the time, it's sometimes that the back row is just a pain in the ass. So that's why I'm picking Harpies. Once again, this isn't really in that great order, but I would not say Harpies is above the other decks I said so far, but yeah. Let's go on to our last one. And the last one I would say is more meta, more viable, and actually, like, what I would say would be number 1 out of all these is E-Heroes. Dark Law and all that crap that got Masked Hero, it's just, the banishing effect in the graveyard is just great right now. Getting your opponent's graveyard is just, getting the graveyard just to stop being affected is awesome right now. And his effect is just great. And E-Heroes are pretty good. Like, they're not bad. They're not, once again, I won't say they're the top tier of the tier, but for the budget you're going for, you only have to get like 3 structure decks and maybe a few other extra deck cards. You're definitely under the $75 range. Maybe a little bit more, $85, whatever. It's still a great deck. And I get pissed when I play against it, because a lot of decks that these days rely off the graveyard. A lot of them. A lot of the new meta decks rely off the graveyard. And if you can lock down that graveyard and make it where they can't use it, whether it's be Macro Cosmos or Dimensional Fusion or Fissure along with playing Masked Heroes, it can definitely hinder your opponent and can be the deciding factor if you're going to win or not. Because if they can't play off their graveyard and get their effects, you're fucked. And you can mix in Abyss Dweller and stuff like that to maybe, give you another something if you can't banish their graveyard cards for the moment. But, hey guys, those are my thoughts of the top 5 playable budget decks, $75 and under. Let me know your thoughts down below, what you would play, what you would change, something else you would pick. Like I said, some of the decks I didn't pick and change it around is because Mega Capital G made a video, so if you want to see another top 10 list of good viable options for about $100 and under, go to Mega Capital G's video, which will be the link down below, if you thought these options were limited, because there are definitely more options, like I said in the beginning. Video kind of got me fucked up, but let me know, like, comment, all that shit. I'll see you later, guys. Peace.
Damn. Yeah.